guys, how's everybody doing today? I hope you had a really nice long weekend. Today I don't have an update in terms of weight and progress. I'll do that later. I am coming to you because I got tagged. I got tagged for a video talking about the top reasons why I had weight loss surgery. So I've seen a lot of these videos out there. I've been watching a lot of them. They all seem to have a very similar theme, and that's not to say that my reasons aren't dissimilar. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself for other videos that you might have heard already. But I got tagged. I got tagged by Amanda, whose channel is Switched Free to Be Me. She had a traditional duodenal switch. So here I am. I don't actually have 5 reasons for the weight loss surgery. I made a little list here and I've got about 4 of them, but they're all very similar. So I'm not sure. Some might fall under the umbrella of other ones, but regardless, here we go. Oh, I need to get a drink. Excuse me. Okay. So number 1 reason, and I should give a caveat that there's no order to these. I suppose there is. Subconsciously, when I was writing them down, there must have been a reason why I picked the first one for a reason. But I'm not putting any stress on any one of these more so than the others, although I think they're all very, very important. Okay, so the first one is health issues. As I've been mentioning in my other videos, I've struggled with my weight my entire life. And I'm only getting older. I just turned 36 this year. And I realized that the older that I get, the more difficult it's going to be to lose weight. And I've already struggled with my weight my entire life. So it was time for a change. So number 1, I had diabetes. I had type 2 diabetes. I wasn't taking any oral medicine for it. When I was first diagnosed, they did put me on metformin, and on a high dosage as well. But they ultimately took me off of it because it was doing some damage to my kidneys. And so that long term, that wasn't good. So as a result, I was taking lots of insulin. So I was taking Lantus twice a day, 70 units twice a day, and that kind of helps bring down your baseline level of your blood sugar. Plus, with my meals, I was taking Humalog, which helps bring it down when it spikes up when you eat. So I was taking insulin at least 5 times a day, which is so funny. Before I was diagnosed, I remember thinking about it. I'm like, I never want to get to that point. I can't imagine the thought of having to give myself a needle, but it came and it happened, and I was taking insulin, giving myself needles, and it wasn't awesome. I hated testing myself. I had bruises all over my fingers from testing my blood sugar multiple times a day. But it's easy to get complacent. It's just, oh, this is just the way it is. I now have to take insulin, so I've got to do it. And although at first I didn't want to do it, I certainly got complacent, and it was just part of my routine. So I was definitely looking to get out of having to do that. So that was the big one for me. As a result, from having my sugars out of control, I had dark spots on my neck as well as on my inner thighs. It's funny, when I was a child, I must have been 12 or something like that, and I was having this ring on my neck, and it almost seemed like I was dirty, like it was like, dirt, but it wasn't. So I went to a specialist, and they said it's because she's insulin resistant. So I was predisposed for diabetes, it seems like, since I was a child. So since my surgery, I have not taken not a single unit of insulin since I left. My last A1C, which was about 3 months ago, it was 5.7, and they wanted to be underneath 7. So next week I have an appointment with my doctor, and I don't have the results from my most recent labs, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it's still relatively low again. Another thing was high blood pressure. I had hypertension. I'm still on that for right now. We'll see if I'll be able to come off of that at some point. My dosage has decreased dramatically. So that was always a concern, that it was a silent killer. My mom has high blood pressure. My dad does too. So once again, it is, it's in my blood. Sleep apnea. I did not know that I had sleep apnea prior to my surgery. Some of the preoperative requirements is you have to do a sleep study. It was determined there that I had very mild sleep apnea. And so they gave me a CPAP. It's a requirement. I had to get one. So I have one now. I don't know if ultimately long term I can probably wean myself off that or stop using it, because it was mild to begin with and I've lost over 100 pounds. So maybe I can stop doing it. I don't freak out. I do sleep with my CPAP most nights, only because I find that I sleep better. I feel more rested, and so I don't have a problem using it. But you know, if I'm out somewhere or I'm at, you know, I crash at a friend's place or whatever, if I don't sleep with it on, it's not that big of a deal. But I do generally sleep with it most nights, and that would be nice to not have to do that. This might be a little TMI, but you know, when I was at my heaviest, I used to get these weird, I guess boils really on my inner thighs, and basically I'm not sure what it was, if it was like hair follicles that got impacted, but I would get these really, really painful large boils on my inner thigh. And so when that would happen, I would have to go to my doctor, and I had gotten pretty good at, you know, going to the doctor before it got to be too bad, because I had gone once. The first one that I had, I let it go and I didn't realize what it was, and they ultimately had to lance it, and it was excruciating. I think I almost passed out on the whatever, the bed at the doctor's office when she was cutting, because she couldn't use anesthetic because there was too much infection. It was just a nightmare. So I got to the point where I felt a bump there, and sometimes when I would do some exercise, it would kind of just reabsorb it, it'd be fine, but sometimes it didn't. And when it didn't, I had to go back to the doctor, and she would give me a round of antibiotics. And I was afraid of MRSA. I was afraid of growing to be resistant to the antibiotics. So that was a big thing, because it made me miserable when I had one of those, and they would last for a few days, and it was quite painful. I will say, I don't know if they were caused by obesity, but I certainly don't think that the obesity helped. It might have been, the obesity might have exacerbated the issue, but I did occasionally get these boils, maybe once a quarter, like maybe 4 times a year, and it just sucked. So, you know, knock on wood, I've not had one since surgery. I've not had one since I lost some weight. So I don't know if it's a direct, you know, consequence of being obese or not. I just know that since I've lost some weight, I'm still, you know, textbook, I'm still considered obese, but I haven't had those issues. So, and I'm not sure if that's because I'm exercising more, or what. I just know that I don't have them anymore. Another reason, a health issue, was I had very irregular menstrual cycles. I mentioned this in my last video. I would only get my period maybe, you know, a few times a year, 2-3 times a year. I would spot occasionally, and I needed to become more regular, and so this is probably a good thing. So those are all, in a nutshell, the different health issues that I had experienced at my heaviest. And, you know, like I said, knock on wood, all those issues seem to be resolved, with the exception, I guess, of high blood pressure, but it has significantly improved, which I'll take all day long. Baby steps, right? So my numbers 2, 3, and 4 on my little list here are all very similar. They could all kind of be maybe lumped into one, but I broke them out just a little bit anyway. So number 2 was essentially, I was tired of being a spectator in life. I wanted to stop existing, just simply existing, and I wanted to start living. I felt that I deserved that. I feel like everybody deserves that. You deserve that too if you're just starting on this. You deserve to be an active participant in life and not just sitting on the sidelines being a spectator. I always felt limited by my weight, and you know, I always felt really like I was second guessing everything. For example, because of my weight. For example, going to a restaurant and sitting at a table. I couldn't fit comfortably in a booth, so I'd always ask for a table. I was always checking to see weight limits on chairs, for example, like, you know, those camping chairs that are made of canvas. You know, what's the weight limit on them? Is it more than 250? Is it more than 300? Oh my gosh, am I gonna be able to sit? I was always afraid of breaking a chair. You know, those, I don't have any here, but those like plastic lawn chairs, I didn't want to sit on one of them because I knew I would just shatter it to splinters. Um, Going to amusement parks. I can't remember the last time I was at an amusement park. For a couple of reasons. One, I know I can't fit on the damn rides. Two is there's a lot of walking that's involved, and I just didn't have the stamina or the energy to do that. My feet would hurt, my back would hurt, and I was just miserable. My husband and I, we do not have children. We had made the active decision that we did not want to have children for a number of reasons. One, we enjoy our freedom, we enjoy money, we enjoy travel, and we made that conscious decision. We're not going to pursue having children, and that's perfectly fine. But that just means I want to live life to its fullest. I want to travel. I want to have that freedom that I just felt I didn't have when I was heavy, when I was super heavy. I'm still heavy now. Don't get me wrong. This is a journey. I'm not there yet. But for example, I've mentioned before that now we're starting to think about traveling to Europe. Airplanes sucked. I'm tired. I had to, at my heaviest, I had to buy 2 airplane seats just to be comfortable. I didn't take up both of them, but I'll tell you, for a long ass flight, I was not comfortable wedged in to that one tiny seat with both armrests down. I was terrified of having people come up to me and be like, "Ma'am, you're way too fucking fat to be on this flight. You need to get another seat, or we need to bump you from this flight." Like that would cause me anxiety, and it was just, I'm tired of living in fear. I'm just tired of living in fear. So that kind of goes on to the next topic that I had, which was essentially confidence and self-worth. I didn't feel a lot of confidence. I didn't feel a great deal of self-worth. Now, don't get me wrong. My husband is wonderful. He has loved me. My biggest. He has been so wonderful. I love him. I love him so much for putting up with all of my shenanigans, for all my health issues and all that. So I shouldn't say that my confidence or self-worth was shot because of him, because quite the contrary. That was all me. That was completely self-deprecating. So I'm very, very grateful to him for his love and his support, but I wanted to feel confident with myself. I wanted to feel confident in my own skin. I wanted to feel confident with my decisions. And that's not something that anybody can give me. I have to give it to myself. So I have to feel comfortable in my own skin. And that also ties out to my professional career. Yes, I work from home now, but I can remember traveling for work. And traveling for work can always be a little bit stressful, especially when you're really big, you're obese, and you're traveling a lot, you're sweating a lot, and you're meeting new people, and they're doing a lot of walking and schmoozing and networking. And I felt that my confidence and my self-worth were so low that I didn't display that confidence when I was talking in my career or, whatever. So I find that has improved significantly. Just confidence, really. And then the last thing that kind of ties in terms of a reason why I pursued weight loss surgery was I needed to break the cycle. I had tried a number of diets with varying degrees of success. I tried Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem. I tried a whole bunch of them. And they're all sort of fads to a degree. At least they were for me. But I needed something more than just a fad diet. I don't need a diet. I needed a lifestyle change. I needed a complete paradigm shift. Everything that I knew and everything that I had done for a very long time was wrong when it came to eating and a relationship with food. I needed to break the cycle. So I needed a lifestyle change that I had to commit to. There was nothing that, I could start it for a while, the novelty wears off, and I would punk out. And then slowly slip back and fall back into those old familiar patterns. I couldn't do that. I had to commit. There was no backing down. There was no excuses. I was changing the physiology of my body, and I had to stick to it. I have to stick to it. And so that's what keeps me honest. That's what keeps me on track, is knowing this is permanent. I cannot punk out. I cannot revert back. So that was the paradigm shift that I needed. And those were, I guess, in a nutshell, those were the reasons why I decided to take the plunge, go under the knife, and do something as radical as weight loss surgery before it killed me. I needed to do this. I would have killed myself by eating, not like, you know what I mean. I would have killed myself very slowly, and I was never experiencing life, and I want to experience life. And now I'm down, I don't know what, 127 pounds, and I feel like a human again. I feel a sense of freedom that I had long forgotten, and I feel self-worth. And it's very hard to articulate, and for those of you who are going through this, you might be able to relate. For those of you who have not yet, who are still pre-op, I know how you feel. I've been there. The lows are low, and sometimes you don't even realize that it's happening. You don't realize that you're depressed. You don't realize that you're not happy. You're just kind of complacent, like this is just the way it is. This is my life. But what you don't realize is that there is more out there, and you're worth it, and you can have it. Some people might say that weight loss surgery is cheating. It's the easy way out, which is a fucking crock of shit. It is hard work. It is hard work. We have conditioned ourselves to feel and to act and behave a certain way for so long. This is a total mindfuck, and you're committed to it. So if you're ready for that commitment, I would encourage you to do this. It worked out really well for me. Everybody's journey is different, and I've said that 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more. Everybody's journey is different. What's happening with me might not happen for you. But so far for me, this has been a great decision. So those are the reasons. Amanda, thank you for tagging me. This is the very first time I've been tagged, so I was glad to do it. I hope that my answers help. I hope that some of you can relate to some of them and can understand. But that's me. That's me, y'all. Hope you guys are good. I will catch up with you later, okay? Bye.